record this thing for myself, and also I am going to put on headphones so that it's bearable for you to watch the stream actually. I can see that we have just give me a short second. I can see that I think we have some people watching actually, which is very nice. Or maybe that's just me misreading some numbers. But I have to say, because I feel that it's only fair to say that I have never been a streamer, or I have never done this before in my life. I am primarily someone who just makes games, but I decided that it, would be nice to play a little bit and talk a little bit. So without any further ado, we are now going to start playing the game actually, and I of course am going to be talking over the game, so I hope that it's not going to be too loud. If it's too loud, just tell me on the chat over there. Oh, it's definitely too loud. Definitely too loud for me, at least. I will have to fix it. Just give me a very short second. How do I do this? I think what I should do is I should make the game quiet for myself and then make it a little louder for you, so that way it's actually going to be bearable. Let's we are going to play in English. Maybe there are some Polish people playing, I mean watching, maybe also Polish people playing. We do have the game in 2 languages, which was sort of an obvious choice because, we are from Poland, which is no mystery. We don't try to hide this. We are a Polish development studio, but the game is written in English and then it is translated to Polish if needed, which is quite easy for us actually. We are planning to add some more languages to the full game, more than just Polish and English. Or as you can see here, English and Polski. But for now, these are the 2 options, because we don't know any people who could translate it any further. So let's play it in English. Let's go. So I think the way I'm going to go about this is I'm going to play on normal mode, because I have always played on normal mode when I play myself. Wait, is everything? Yeah, there's just a quite small delay, which I think is normal between the stream, because I'm looking at the stream on the second screen so that I know what's happening. Yeah, there isn't a whole lot of choices here in the main menu. We're just going to play. I'm going to stay quiet for the cutscene in case someone hasn't seen it yet. This cutscene actually took about a month of work. Oh yeah, sorry. This is also another thing I need to address just in a second, but I wanted to talk about the cutscene. The cutscene took a long time to make, and it's actually quite simple, but an important thing to mention is that we sort of had to... how do I say it? We had to... or at least I had to sort of learn how to animate for the sake of this game, because believe it or not, I never really did that much before. And the demo you can see right now has been overhauled, because when we started, it used to just be me doing all the drawings and all the animations, and right now it's there are 2 people working on the animation. which some of you I'm sure have heard if you have been following the game, but if you haven't, then that's the case, that we are now a team of 3. And the second thing I wanted to address is it's going to be a little weird playing, because I voiced the main character, Ward, that you can see over there, so I'm going to be talking over myself. But I let him do the talking. As you might have noticed, they are speaking in a made-up language.
O, tak. Wymachałem tapposik. Dlatego sami firmy.
And it's been really fun recording the dialogues for the game, because we sort of have had to come up with words. The idea was to do something like they did in Hollow Knight, which is a great game that I really love, when the characters just say things, but they're not like specific things. It's not even a full language, but that's actually something that we've been thinking about. If we maybe should have had, if we maybe should create at least somewhat of a comprehensive language for the game, and I think that's what we are going to do. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be talking a lot about technical details and things like that, because it's a game that I've sort of been living in the world of this game for the past year or so, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'll talk about this later. For now, let's just play the game. A row of tier... I'm not going to be role-playing, sorry guys, I'm not in the right mind right now to read everything out. You can see what's written out. Those crystals... Yeah, they look very similar to the crystals on the back of the main character, and in fact these are, well, not the exact same crystals, but they are the exact same thing. That's a lore thing that I'm not going to get into right now. I don't know if I should... I think I should exhaust all the dialogue options for this playthrough. It would only seem fair. Yeah, electricity, that's an important aspect of the lore, but like I said, I'm not going to be talking about that a whole lot. I mean, I'm reading the chat, I'm responding to Rudra. Not every line is unique, sadly. That's what I wanted to do. At first I wanted to record a voice line for every single line of dialogue in the game, but sadly that would mean that the file size of the game would be enormous, because it would be hours and hours of dialogue. Maybe not for the demo, but for the main game. We are still thinking about what should we do with that. Maybe we'll find a way to record everything, because recording those dialogues is very, very fun. Because you get to feel like a voice actor, even though, well, basically you just get to be a voice actor for that. Yeah, those flowers are going to be quite important in the in the full story of the game. And Ward is right in here, they only grow in the city of Taro, where the game takes place. Yeah, we are going up. Now you can see the camera zooming in and out in this place. That's actually a very fun fact that people always find entertaining when we share it. The thing is, when the camera zooms out, we don't really have a camera in-game. There's no camera entity. So what you're seeing right now is every single asset, every single thing that you see on the screen, the main character as well, just scaling up and down. It's getting bigger and smaller as you move in, and it took us a long while to get the numbers right, to actually, so that everything lines up. And it was fun, but we really like the final result, because what happens is it doesn't just zoom out, but everything is actually getting smaller. For example, Ward right now he's consisting of less pixels than he does when I move in here. You can see that he is more detailed right now, and it's a perfect example of a technical issue, because, you know, it was an issue. We had no idea how to do this, and we just made up a solution that may seem a little bit primitive, but it looks really cool. So yeah, we are quite happy about that. That's an NPC that you can see over here. This is actually... Well, I'm going to pretend I haven't played the game, so for a while. We don't know the name of this NPC for now. And it's a very mysterious character. The character is going to also be mysterious in the full game, but we are actually going to talk with them a lot. It's an important character. We can touch them. That's actually a line I wanted to talk about for a moment, if you people care to hear something like that, because I had no idea how to make the character feel, and I decided to just go with cold fur, although that doesn't really feel like something specific, but I don't know, it's just something I've been thinking about when I was playing the game earlier today, to think about things to talk about, but that's maybe not all that interesting. It was really fun making his voice, because the voice is... these are actual voice lines that he's saying, although they have been very heavily altered with various effects. I think that his voice has like a total of maybe 15 filters on it to make it sound like it does right now. It's chopped and it's reverbed and delayed and everything like that, and I really like how it sounds in the end. But yeah, we can't really communicate with him right now. And it's also really fun because to play it right now, at least if you've heard the initial voice lines, because I remember recording this with my friend and he was saying actual things, but they are impossible to make out actually. Yeah, we can pet him. I have no idea why you can really pet him, but it's just silly. And he seems to like it, which maybe the idea was to indicate that he's friendly, because this is a friendly character, at least, you know, in his vague way. I know this is the boring part of the playthrough, but I really want to talk about everything, because I think it's a good opportunity. We are going to get to the fight later. This is actually the only coherent line that he says. He does speak, but he doesn't really speak anymore. But he does have more lines. We are going to come back to here. Wait a second. Yeah, he just looks up. We are supposed to go up at this point. And to do that, we need to call the elevator, and the elevator actually has to go down. As you can see, we made it so that you have to wait, because it makes sense, because there is someone up there, and he must have used the elevator, so the elevator has to go down actually. I'm going to talk a little bit about the elevator. But I also wanted to showcase the idle animation of Ward, because this is a good moment. For like 20 seconds he will just stand there and then he just falls asleep, and he will stay like this forever. Although the idea for the main game is to actually use more idle animations, so that, for example, he stands in place for 15 seconds, he maybe does something silly or does something funny, I don't know, but for the demo we went with him just falling asleep, and actually when you input anything he has to wake up like this. Which I suppose is a little bit funny, because this is a dream. Well, not exactly just a dream, but he's asleep right now and he can fall asleep in a dream. And we can enter the elevator. The elevator, we knew that we have to make it something interesting, so we decided that Ward is going to be able to look around in the elevator. There's a lot of frames in here, because they do have to sync up, so that you can Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about the elevator later on. There are... Those two symbols are very important in the lore of the game. They are... It's hard to understand what they are all about right now. But this is a... This I call the King's Banner, because that's what it is, and that one is... well, how do I say it? It's sort of a semi-religious symbol, but not exactly. It's complicated, but you are going to learn about it in the full game. We also have to flesh that out a little bit. But in this demo you can only see it as a red banner with a black symbol woven into it. That's all there is. I don't know if you've noticed. Possibly it's possibly noticeable, but what we've made and what seems sort of like an obvious choice, but I really like how this ends up, the impression it gives, is there are different music zones in the whole demo. For example, when I go in here, you can, you know, start hearing the guitar, you can start hearing the bells in the background, but when you go out, it's the same exact music track, but you can hear less of it. And it's a simple trick really, but I really like how it sounds. And the only thing that we can do on this balcony, apart from looking at the nice dangly little things, they're like little beads made out of gold. A lot of things in this game is made out of gold, because well, gold is sort of abundant on this planet, and they just have a lot of it, so they make all kinds of things with gold. This is something that you're going to notice in the main game, but it's also noticeable in here. Those spires are made out of gold, there's gold on the floor, gold on the ceiling, it's just gold everywhere. But there's a telescope in here, and we are going to look into it. This is an attempt at a joke, because it's a metal tube with a hole in it. What could it be? Oh yeah, a telescope. I don't know if it's really that funny. I need to work on the humor in this game, because maybe I should point this out that oh, you know, actually I think it's not that important who does what, but I mostly write. To the demo I wrote all the dialogue that there is in the demo, but right now I'm not writing it all myself. So it's gonna be better, guys. And there's not a whole lot of things you can see in the telescope, which is actually a thing I sort of did on purpose, because at this point in making the game, or at that point where I was drawing, for example, this plate, or however you call this, I wasn't exactly sure if I'm not going to change some things between the demo and the final game, so I sort of made it dark on purpose. It's also dark, so it's authentic. It actually is dark in here. But one detail that you can see that you maybe haven't noticed if you played the demo yourself, there is a red blinking light in about the center of the screen right now, and that is a place that you are going to go to in the full game, but it is very, very far away, and yeah, it's going to be important, and it's just a little, how do you call this? A little reference, but to a thing that you couldn't really have seen yet. But yeah, it's there. And this is the city, but it's just a dark grey blob right now. But that's what it is. And the mountains in the distance. Yes, there is a blinking red light. I'm glad somebody noticed that. And there's actually, I think, my favorite room. This is because those places, the how do you call it? Those spires, they used to be public spaces. And this is a place where the Phalanx, so the main characters of the game, because everybody here is a Phalanx, that's what they're called, they are very social creatures. They like spending time together, they need places to do that, they live in very packed houses, so obviously they need places to dine, to eat, and to just spend time and drink. Of course, they do have alcohol. There's wine in here, which I'm not going to drink right now, because if you drink it, you're going to get drunk. I'm going to show this later, after I see all the other things. But you actually... Yes, foreshadowing, exactly. I was missing the word. That's what I meant. Yeah, it smells of false flowers. An important detail, or maybe just a technical, interesting thing when it comes to technicality, is as long as you are in some sort of an interaction, the elevator is just going to keep on going. It's not going to throw you out, because that was a problem at one point. That's the map. That's the map of Taro. And an important thing to notice, an important detail maybe, is that Ward doesn't really recognize this map. He does say that something is wrong about it, and he's right that he hasn't seen most of these places, because most of those places are actually gone right now. Or at least, you know, overgrown by plants, by trees, because the city of Taro has been abandoned for a very long time, and Ward is one of those Phalanx that returned to the city when they could, because there's a lot of details. I'm not going to, you know, tell you the entire story. You are going to see that story, hopefully. But yeah, Taro isn't that big, but it used to be. So this is sort of a going to the past thing in this dream that he has. And also, you can sort of see this little crease in the map with an S on it. And if you actually press... Oh yeah, that's my singing you can hear in the background. But that's just Ward, you know, humming the tune of the elevator, because he doesn't have anything else to say. So he just going yeah, like that. But that S, if you hold that letter, it turns the map to the other side, and the map you can see over there clearly has been hand-drawn by someone. And I'm going to give you a little tip that the Phalanx that drew this map is in this demo, and he's one of those two characters. But yeah, he's the one that wants to help Ward, actually, so we can, you know, take the key. Everything that there is on this map is something meaningful. I mean, every single detail does mean something about the full game. There are actually things that are sort of important, the little drawings of locations, but this is also just foreshadowing of the full game. You are going to see all those places, I hope. I mean, of course, you are going to see them if you will play the game, because we will make the game. It's just that it's gonna take a while. Okay, so right now we are on the top floor of the spire. There are some things we can do over there. We are going to go to the bathroom in a while. We are first going to try to defeat the danger, because there are smells. I have to say that I really like putting smells, the descriptions of smells into game, because I feel like it really allows you to immerse yourself. Like, imagine the smell of chlorine in here, because that's how it's supposed to smell. And yeah, it does look like danger. There is danger, and we are going to face that danger right now, and we are going to proceed with caution. But first we are going to see this little thing, because I want to talk about it. It's sort of a memorial tablet. It's one of those things that, you know, you put in important places to commemorate something and stuff like that. It's of course lined with gold, because everything here is lined with gold. And that's what it says: as long as the Phalanx stay curious, we will survive. With gold and titanium we erect this monument. This monument refers to all of those spires, of those spikes on the mountain. They are made with titanium and gold, and while gold is abundant on this planet, it's everywhere, titanium is actually very, very rare, and that also is important to the lore of the game, that there is titanium here. It's a memorial to, you know, just all the many things. I'm not going to say everything right now because that would defeat the point. And yeah, it's just sort of an epic thing, like a huge monument to the Felix, and also just a place to hang out. Okay, let's go. The music goes quiet when you enter in here, and you can already see the bad guy that we are going. I mean, he's not really bad. That's before we get onto the fight. I wanted to talk about one thing, that when we write all the characters in Ghost of Fall, for example, even the main character Ras over there that we are going to meet in a second, the guy that's you know, all the way down there, and there are some other characters. Actually, there's a lot of characters in this demo. You don't meet most of the characters that you will meet in the full game. We try to not be comical about it. Like, we try not to make a character that is just bad, or a character that is just purely good. You will not find a definitive antagonist in Ghost of Fall. Everybody's actions just make sense, or at least that's what we are trying to do. But that's just a little digression from my side. Let's go and talk with this shadowy creature over there. His name is Ras. He's also a phallic. Everybody here is a phallic, but some of them might have antlers, like he does. He does know us, which might be a little bit shocking to Ward. And Vera is the guy that we met downstairs. Yeah, the trip on the cables, I also really like that detail, because I just wanted to make this scene a little more interesting, so I said, why not make him trip a little bit. And yeah, Vera is the guy that's down there. I just got a prompt here on my phone from my friend who I make the game with. He's with us right now. He's watching, and he told me that I maybe should say about why this character is named the way he is. But maybe I will do this in a moment. But it is a fun story, I promise. And yeah, getting back to the actual dialogue, Vera is the guy that is downstairs. We just met him, and he is why Ward, the main character, is even here. But Ras is unhappy about this, and he has his own reasons. And he's just more or less a pessimist character, I suppose. We are going to exhaust all of the dialogue, because saving the world does sound important, and Ward has no idea what Ras is talking about. He has no idea what's happening. That's sort of also an important thing, that the society in Ghost of Fall, all of the Felix, they are sort of passionless, I guess you could say. They don't really have much of a purpose as a society. They're just living. They're happy, but not doing anything special. That's a big theme in the game. Yeah, like he says. And a huge theme in the game is, you know, going sort of beyond your nature and doing something more than you are supposed to do, which Ward is very much not an example of at the beginning of the game, and also in this demo. He doesn't really care that much about the future, about himself, about anything really. That is going to be a very big thing to think about. Exactly, like he says, Ward is just... he doesn't even get to explain himself. It's the truth, Ras knows this. Wait a second. Oh yeah, I'm getting lost in my own dialogue. Luckily you can skip it. But Ward also actually isn't, you know, he is he's not that weak. I mean, he's maybe mentally a little weak, but when it comes to actual fighting skills, he's quite good. So he's right to say that he's not weak. But Ras already has an answer to that. Yeah, that's also quite a big thing in the game, the motive of family, which we don't get to explore too much in the demo because Ward is alone in here, and but Ras does mention it because it's also is the truth that Ward was too weak to help his family. Let's go. And Ras is unhappy about this. He doesn't like him for that. But he does allow us to, you know, prove ourselves. He's not going to just attack us, but he will not want us to go further to the right. This cursed reality is a little bit of an overstatement. The place that we are in, that Ward is in, that Ras is in, is not really some sort of like hell or anything like that. But it is an alternative world, I guess you could say, that Ras and Vera downstairs and also Ward right now are stuck in, and there's nothing really you can do about that. But Ward can wake up, but Ras is not really going to allow him to do that. Because if Ward wakes up, he's free to go out in the real world and make changes that Ras believes are not going to be good ones. So he doesn't want him going out, but obviously Ward doesn't know what's happening, so that's a logical choice to choose who even are you. And that's a dynamic that I wanted to go into, that Ras is not like hateful towards Ward, because Ras is also sort of indifferent to what's happening, but he just doesn't believe that Ward is a good Felak, that he's a good character to go out into the real world, so, but he doesn't hate him. So you can, you know, talk with him. And that's a bit of a lore-heavy line over there. I'm not sure if I should explain what's going on, but you could see that Ras is he's not just Felak, he's also part machine. As you can see, he's one of 12 Felaks like that who are in the world. Vera is also one of them, which you can't really see in that form, but he is also a cyborg, basically. I guess that's the proper word. And yeah, Vera would call them like that, because he's also one. And it was his creation. Vera is the one responsible for even making those characters. And yeah, Ras and Vera, at least to their knowledge, are the last ones who survived, who are alive. So it's a bit of a sad story, and it will be a little bit of a sad story further on. And yeah, Vera is kind of lost. He's sort of, you know, everywhere. Everywhere and nowhere. It's hard to communicate with him, but he still has enough power over those forces that are there in this world to bring Ward in and make him do things. Yeah, we can now ask him, why is he here even? Well, because Ward still doesn't really know what's going on. That's a bit of an important thing, that the place that they are in, this world far away, how I like to call it, is something that the Felaks accessed through being altered, through becoming cyborgs, and But Russ has no idea what has happened. Only Vera had some semblance of an idea of what's going on in this place, of what's happening, why are they suddenly somewhere else. But Russ doesn't know. Vera knows, but Vera's not there. Okay, I'm not going to do absolutely all of them. We are going to ask why is Ward here? Because Ward is rightfully angry. He didn't want to do any of that. He just went to sleep, and he woke up in here, and suddenly he has to do some strange things. And it's thanks to Vera, as Russ says us. He dragged Ward in. Yeah, we can go back, talk to Vera. I think that's what I'm going to do. I need to think about it, which also was an option I really wanted to implement to be able to just walk away from this fight. Because that's all he wants us to do. He doesn't really want us to essentially fight with him. We do get an option to just walk away, which is what we are going to do just for a while. And yeah, there's exclusive dialogue after talking with Russ in the elevator. Maybe, I suppose not everybody's seen that. Yeah, Ward is worried. It's hard to blame him. Yeah. The elevator is a sort of a safe place. With the carpet on the floor and everything. It was supposed to be very comfy. And I suppose we succeeded with that. Let's talk to Vera again. Vera doesn't really respond all that much. Yeah, they do know each other very well, actually. Vera doesn't have much to say. That's generally his problem in this demo version. But in the full game, don't worry, you will get to talk with him a lot. So, if you like this character, yeah, Ward is a little angry. Vera is a little sad about this, but he can't really do anything. Okay, I know this is the part that some of you might have been waiting for. Let's actually go and fight the character we just talked to a while ago. I do wonder if I'm going to do this first try. I might not. Let's get to the point. If I'm going, let's do it like this. If I'm going to, well, actually, it's not really that much of a challenge, but if I'm going to fail the first time, I'm going to get to the secret room and do a little thing there that does make the fight a little easier. But who knows, maybe I'll just do it first try. I really like the animation that Russ is going to do in a second. I haven't made it, but it turned out really cool. Look at that. Yeah, let's go. I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk during this segment, because it does require some attention. I did practice a little bit before the stream. I managed to do it a few times already, but I really like to talk. I'd like to talk about this fight, but maybe I'll do it after we're done with it. Because there has been so much work and so much ideas and so much issues that we've had with this fight before it actually came to... Oh yeah. That's why I shouldn't talk. But yeah, that was the first phase. The first phase is the easiest, I think. Now we are getting to the second phase, which in turn is the hardest. Let's try. The raindrops line is actually a reference to a song, but I don't think it's that interesting. I really need to focus if I'm supposed to beat this, especially this phase. This one and the last one, you need to focus a lot to actually be able to do it. Yeah, that part is... Hell yeah, I did it. I always get surprised by that attack. I think that one's the coolest looking attack in the whole game, for now. Sometimes the blades don't spawn, and we don't know why that happens. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, no clue. It only happens on some computers, and on others it never happens. That one's a little easier. What? This was the phase 2, and what happens right now is the phase 2.5, basically. That's how we call it, because it's sort of an intermission. Yeah, you can run through him. It's a little bit of an exploit, I suppose. But if you start running in his direction right as he spawns, yeah, I did it. But that's not the end. And a fun little thing is that you can actually, in those moments, you can not do anything. You can just, you know, stand up, get some water. That's what I'm going to do. Wait a second. Because at no other point you can actually pause the game, because the game, you cannot pause it right now. The idea was to actually get the player invested. If you know, if you lose, you can just start anew, but we wanted people to have to finish at least a phase of a fight before getting to take a break, which I'm not sure, and generally we are not sure if it's the best idea. I'm going to talk about our thoughts about the fight after I beat it, because there's quite a lot of them and we are going to change a lot of things as well. But first let's try to kill the bastard, actually. Just kidding, I love him. But we are going to kill him. I always get screwed on that first attack of this phase. Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe that's good. Maybe because that means I get to explore the one final room of the game. I swear I didn't die on purpose, although it might have looked like that. I just lost control. You can't get in there. And this is a very important part of the lore right now, which I'm just going to allude to a little bit. Mirrors are very, very important. And yeah, that's a mirror, and we will gaze into it. And as you can see, a creature appears holding up a crystal, which we can take. And it disappears, but it blacks out the mirror. That's something that, not a lot, but it's going to happen in the game. You know, strange things, strange creatures in the mirrors. That's what this world is a little bit about. But yeah, Ward is a little freaked out about it. And yeah, you feel like you just saw something you shouldn't see, because that's basically what's the case here. This is something that's very dark, very arcane, maybe you should say. Sinister, maybe also a little bit, but not essentially. It doesn't have to be sinister. Your crystals now shine extra bright. That means we are stronger, because Feleg's only as good as his crystals. That's the law. Those crystals, if anything happens to them, if they're like broken or something like that, then that's basically a, you know, you can basically kill a Feleg like that, but maybe let's not go into that. Also, an important detail here is that Ras does realize that this is the second time this is happening. Like, he now looks at Ward and he sees him come back to him after he just, you know, killed him basically, and he's back. And normally other characters are not really able to notice something like that, but it is how the things happen in this game. When Ward dies and retries a fight, he actually does approach it the second time, but mostly it's just him who knows this. So he's sort of sentient about the fact that this is repeating, but Ras is able to realize that, because this is not the real world, this is the world far away. So he does realize that. And it's also thanks to Vera. This is why Vera is going to be so important, because he is capable of doing something like that. But Ward is completely, you know, he has no idea what just happened. He just got beaten up, and now he's back, and he has to fight the second time. And here Ras realizes that if Vera wants Ward to do something special, to do something big, then Ward defeating Ras is going to be his first step towards it. This is going to be the purpose of Ras. Yeah, he will be our key. Because without defeating Ras, Ward can't get out and can't progress, anything like that. I really wanted him to say "let's dance." It seems like something that fits him. Okay, full focus now. I don't want to be repeating this all this time. We have made this fight easier a total of 3 times, because the first time we did it, it was possible. Technically you could do it. I beat it once in the first iteration, but it was hell. Like, it was basically you had to do everything perfectly, or else there would be no chance that you would even be able to win. So yeah, it's a little bit easier now. God damn it. I'm sorry, I swear I'm trying. But okay, I have two points of health, and I more or less know what I'm supposed to be doing. So let's not stall anymore, let's just get this over with. I've been playing for almost an hour already. And we planned this demo to be about 15 minutes long. And yeah, it's... as it turns out, you can play it for a little bit longer. I have no idea how I just did that, really. I did it differently than I usually do it. Basically there are some, you know, patterns that you need to learn while beating this fight, but the key is usually to move a lot. Not always. Sometimes it's the best idea to just, you know, not move. There's one point in which you're supposed to not be moving, but generally running around, you know, being... because most of these attacks rely on... I'm sorry. Oh god damn. Sorry, I got distracted for a while. Yeah, that was phase 2. Now let's try to do phase 2.5, which I really don't like it. It's very difficult to predict what's happening, even though I made this game. I always forget what's happening in this phase. Okay, 2 points of health. 9 hours. Okay, I am very impressed. But I'm also flattered that you were willing to spend so much time on the game. That's really really means a lot. Well, I can tell you that I also spent quite a lot of hours on the game, but I guess that doesn't really need to be said. But I don't count them. But yeah. Okay. It should only be better for now. I really liked this attack with the tentacles. Oh yeah, that's also a cool moment. I don't think I ever died anywhere further than this point. Because this is basically the end. Like, Ras is getting... Oh yeah. Sorry. I will stop talking for a while, because I really wouldn't like to die here. And I died here. I guess it can get a little annoying. I will finish this game. This is just... I would be a very bad example if I didn't finish my own game on my own stream. On a festival of demos. Okay, I'm going to stop talking for a while. The fun thing about it is, it's hard to even maybe call this a rhythm game. Or maybe it's not hard, but that was not the main idea, to make it a rhythm game. It just seemed like a cool thing to do, to make all the attacks timed to the music. I'm going to show you later how we did that, because it's a fun story. And it also was really fun doing it. Yeah, I got myself cornered. Oh no, I made it. I shouldn't have made it, but I did. Yeah, he gets overheated, he can't use his electric abilities right now, it's just sword stuff right now. Yeah. Yeah, I do suppose it's nice to just watch somebody play this, because it is a little intense, and that's what we like, but we also need to make it a little easier and, you know, more pleasant, make the fight more fair. And yeah, as my friend here says, you can listen to all the music on Spotify and also other platforms, but I use Spotify. Let's get it. think I shouldn't have been hit there, but well, I still have 2 HP. We are aware that there are some bugs about getting hit when you shouldn't get hit. Some invisible hitboxes. We have tried our best to avoid things like that, but sometimes they still happen. I guess we need more playtesters in the future to avoid things like that. Okay, I don't want to get happy yet, but I think I just did it. Yeah. Okay, so that would have been embarrassing if I just forgot and died like that. But yeah, we got him. Okay, so before we actually hit him the last time and crack the last crystal and end the fight, I want to talk a little bit about the fight itself. And what I wanted to say is the fights are going to be at least a little different in the main game, because this was, well, it's a demo game, so we sort of wanted to experiment a little bit about how the fight is supposed to look, how it's supposed to play, and things like that. And what we have learned, that while this approach is a really cool concept, like it can be very good, it doesn't always feel very fair, and it doesn't feel that engaging, because you only get to run around and do nothing. I mean, not do nothing. Some people liked it, and I'm very happy that people liked it, but we have learned that we need to add some more variety to the fights, maybe more movement options for ward, dashing, things like that should be something that we are going to do. We are thinking about this. Of course, the interface of the fights is probably going to stay similar. It's not going to be identical in every single fight, because there aren't going to be fights right and left in the game. Actually, fights are going to be something that just happens from time to time, but each one of them is supposed to be very unique, very special and different from all the other ones. So the interface might look differently. For sure there will be different attacks, different sprites, characters, colors, but we also want to make more mechanics for ward, for those characters. It's going to be a challenge for sure, but it's a challenge that we are looking forward to, and I think it's going to be very fun, and we really want to make the fights impactful, and we are going to do just that. But for now, this is the fight we have, and it's also over right now. Last one bit of information I wanted to share you about the fight is the fact that everything you see, the character sprites, the backgrounds, the interface, the animations, everything was done in a single Photoshop file by me, and it ended up being a few thousand individual pictures that make up this, what you see in here, together of course with the attacks and everything like that. So it was easy to put together. It definitely wasn't easy to make. It took me like, I think, 2 months to do everything that you saw over there, and then it took us a whole lot of time to actually wait, actually I'm going to show you a little thing before we, or not, I'm going to show it to you later. For now we do have the final blow to deliver, so let's do it. The screen goes black. And yeah, these are his dying words. It was really fun making his voice in here, because it's the same guy who did his voices earlier, but the idea was that, well, he is part machine, so he's breaking down right now, so it's his voice is glitching and pitching up and down. It was fun to make. Yeah, he doesn't know, because this is not the real world. So he's obviously a little scared. And nobody knows that, because no Phalanx really have been there before. A fair point from Ward. And yeah, this is an important thing because, you know, it is a luxury almost nobody can afford, because Phalanx, so, like I said, they have nothing to do. They're just bored, and they die without a reason, without a purpose in the end, so he does want this. And these dialogue lines are all unique. They have been recorded specifically for this moment. And we do get to choose if he did the right thing or if he did this for nothing. I like this character, and I will tell him that he did the right thing. It doesn't change much, it's just an option for you to express yourself. And he just dies. The body twitches because it's a machine. He might have died, but still something's working inside. But it's a bit of a macabre idea. So you don't... Yeah, like a broken machine, and you don't want to look anymore, because it's a sad thing. Phalanx are very... like... death and killing and things like that is very repulsive to them. So... this is also going to be a big theme in the game. Yeah, you know, you're not supposed to... I mean, you can feel however you like, but it's not that bad of a thing, because it's something that he did want it, in a way. Because he was stuck in here for God knows how long. He has no idea what to do. So at least he got to die with some sort of a purpose. But it is sad. I also think that it's a bit of a shame that this character had to end up like this. But don't worry, you are going to get so many great characters later. But for now we do get to talk to Vera one last time. He's right. He does, actually. This is... he now speaks normally. And he just goes away. But we are going to meet him later on, so... And... oh yeah, there's also a very small detail. After you defeated Raz, the dialogue in here changes. I mean, not a dialogue, but a description. It says, in the end, even the brightest crystals fade to black. Which I really wanted a little detail like that to happen, and also it's true. But that's all that changes. Oh, and I was also going to, before we leave, we are going to get ourselves a drink. But after we do that, it's going to be absolutely everything. Which still took over an hour to get here.
Yep.
Yeah, he could definitely use a drink after that.
Facts. Tiksisani. Rezaja.
And the screen gets a little fuzzy right now. You get two. You get two drinks. And after that, Ward does get a little bit drunk, but he doesn't get any more. He did in fact have enough. So let's just leave. This is going to be the end. I'm going to talk for a few minutes after we finish, and actually I don't even really have that much time left. So let's just go. And with this computer you do get to leave to the real world. and watch this little animation. A crystal connection. From between two worlds, eternal noise. Twitching ears, unsteady gaze. Looks upon abandoned plains. Seeing fair and seeing all. Blooming in first days of fall. And he wakes up. And that concludes our demo. I know that it is very mysterious. I know that it may leave people wanting more. That was the point. Because there is going to be more. You can see the final credits. Which were also drawn by me. We try to focus on not doing anything the easy way, if it benefits from being done the hard way. For example, all the text, for things like that, I also just drew it. It's not some sort of a font and an animation, but it's very simple, but I think it adds a lot of charm. And that is the whole game. We can now go back to this simple screen that I put together. I think it just disconnected me. Yeah, I should be online right now. Hello? I am still online, but there were some issues. It just said me that I just got disconnected. Okay, so for those few last minutes, I wanted to talk a little bit about what is going on, basically. I mean, what are we doing right now? Because we do have this demo to show, which, well, we are happy with how the demo came out and how it plays and stuff like that. But the main game is going to be much larger than the demo is, because the demo is just one location and it isn't also a very big one at that. What we are going to do in the full game, we are going to have a little shy of 50 of those locations like that, and not every one of them is going to have a fight in it. Not every single one is going to be as mysterious. Some of them are going to be very much straightforward, because this world, as you can see on this little picture that you see, which is actually from the full game, only we have added some stuff on the table that's not going to be there, because it says Ghost of Fall, and that would be breaking the fourth wall, which we don't want to do. Yeah, the game is going to first of all be much prettier than it is right now, because we have some more people working on it, and it's going to be very story focused, like the demo was, I believe. There are going to be fights. We aren't sure how many exactly are there going to be, but there are going to be more than than just one, I suppose. And we would really like to be able to show you the full game already, but it does going to take some time to be made, and there isn't much we can speed up really in the process, especially now, because right now we are still sort of planning things out while also already drawing the assets that are going to be used in the end. But it also is going to take more time, because we don't reuse anything. We draw every single thing by hand, and that many locations, it's going to take some time. But we are very determined to work, and we are very eager to work. We got a team together of 3 people that really like this idea, and well, what else can I say? We are going to keep working, and I am very positive about the game. I also wanted to... Well, I don't know... What should I show? I do have some little interesting tidbits of information in here. But I don't know if they're that interesting to anybody. I think that... Give me a second. I think maybe we should just end the stream right now, because it took a lot. It took a long time to finish the game. I'm very happy to talk about it, but I don't really have that much more to say right now, other than a lot of things are going to happen in the future, and it's generally a good time to be a fan of Ghost of Fall. So what can I say? That was a really fun experience to stream for you all, and I am going to end the stream. See you in the future, and if you like the game, if you like how it look, and I encourage you to, you know, please share if you can. If you mean those informations, I can. If somebody asked for it, I can show the things I have prepared. I'm just always a little bit shy about those things. So for example, I can show you, I talked about how we were doing the fight planning. Oh, yeah, I would have forgotten about that. Good thing. So I'm going to start with that. Ras is called Ras. Wait, I'm going to find you the photo. Because it's going to be much funnier if I find the photo. I didn't think to prepare it. I need to search for Ras in a conversation. Oh yeah. Yeah, I need this photo to talk about this. Because without it, it's not going to be as funny. But in the meantime, I can give you the story why Ward is called the way he is. This game has a very long story, and a few years ago already, we came up with the idea for a game. It was supposed to be a boring game with humans, and it was supposed to be happening on Earth, so that would have been very boring, but the main character was supposed to be called Edward, which is a real name. And then our plans have changed, and we decided to make it a science fiction game and make the characters all non-human. But we already liked the name Edward for the main character, so I decided to just call him Ward. Just, cut the ED from the start, and basically that's just what happened, and he's called Ward right now. But normally they have non-human names, and I'd like to... I don't know if I should show... I'm still searching for... Oh, I got it. So the photo... Wait, I need to save it. I'm really not that great with OBS, but... Okay, so I need to add a picture. And basically... Oh yeah, why is it so big? This thing is in my bathroom, in my home. It says lemongrass and lime, if you can see. And I remember going out from standing up from the computer, going to the bathroom, and I was thinking about how should I call this character? How should I call him? And I just looked at this, and I just only saw the top of the bottle, and I saw Ras. And so maybe his full name is supposed to be Lemongrass, but that's a real word, so I had to cut it to just Ras. So that's how he's called right now, and it's because of this bottle of I don't even know what it is. It like makes the room smell nice with those sticks and things like that. But it did smell nice. You can imagine that this character also smells like that, like lemongrass and lime, which is a nice smell, I suppose. What was I supposed to talk about? Oh yeah, this is not a good idea to show this right now, because I wanted to show you some concept arts of other characters, but if I did that, you wouldn't get introduced to them later, and I think that we are going to be able to prepare a better introduction for them than my sketches. But what I can show you, what I'd like to show you at least, is some early stuff from the game. But this is going to be a little bit buried. I can show you a sketch. How I can show you how the game looks in its first stage. For example, I just played the demo, so you saw it. And I can show you how it looked when I came up with how it's supposed to be looking. It's also gonna be very big for a moment. But this is the first sketch of the game of the demo, what the rooms are supposed to be, how it's supposed to look, and as you can see, we've later added some stuff to it because the final demo is bigger than this sketch. But this is how every location starts out. I can show you some newer stuff. For example, I try not to show too much from the full game, because showing everything is bound to spoil a few things. But for example, oh yeah, this is very big. I don't know how do you even scale this. This is a newer sketch. This is a sketch of Ward's house, actually. This is how it is going to look, but this is just what we start with. We start with, usually I make sketches like that just roughly show how a place is supposed to look. And after that's done and we decide that this looks good, this is something that we can proceed with, then me and the second artist that we're working with, we convert it into this pixel-like graphics that you can see in the final game. Same with everything, actually. Everything starts with a little sketch that we later convert into a full colored animation, and yeah, basically like that. Maybe one thing that I should also talk about while I still have a few minutes left is the music that there is in a game. You can see that he's dancing right here. This animation was actually created like 2 days ago, and it was made for no particular reason right now. We just decided that maybe we are going to be able to use animation of Ward dancing somewhere. So this animation is there. Yeah, the 2 moons are still there because, well, this planet has 2 moons. So this is a piece of a law that this game has. We put a lot of attention to details like that. I mean, it's not really a detail, it's a astronomical thing. But we want to make sure that every single thing in the game is planned out. Things that are going to appear in the background and things that are not going to be, you know, first stage, but they are important to those characters, to this world. The things that shape it, that make it look the way it does. We believe that there is a lot of strength in thinking like that, and this is in the end what makes the game believable in the end. And what makes the drama believable. You are not going to care about those characters if those characters feel like they live in some artificial world that doesn't really make sense if you look at it for more than 5 minutes. So we are putting extreme care and attention to make the game and the world feel alive and feel planned out so that it makes sense. And I also wanted to show you, because I wanted to talk a little bit about the music, because some people even wrote here in the stream, and a lot of people told me that the music is really a great part of the game, and I want to put some attention to the fact that the music ends up so good because we make it as a musical band, Felkai band it's called, you could see in the final credits of the game. And we have been making music, there's 3 of us, there's me, my brother, and we also have a guitarist that is actually responsible a lot for the mood of the game, very much, because the guitar really, at least in the demo, adds a lot of the atmosphere to it all. And well, yeah, we have a solid music background and generally sound design. The second artist in the game also is quite a professional sound designer and also a musician. So when it comes to music, the music and sound in the game, we do have a lot of background. So that much I can promise. I can promise you that the music and sound is only going to be as good, if not better, in the whole game. I believe I can actually promise that for all the aspects of the game, because we now know a lot of things that we didn't know when we started making the demo a year ago. It's actually around exactly a year ago that we started making the demo, and right now we are at this point where we are now working on the full game, and also we are streaming it right now, as it seems, which streaming is challenging. I am now finding out that it's not a very easy thing to do, to just sit and talk for so long, but I just maybe going to show you something interesting that I still have here. If I even have something like that. I know about the sound. Oh yeah, this is also a huge image. And I just moved it out of the... OBS is difficult. I mean, it's not difficult, I'm just stupid. Just give me a second. All the sounds that you can hear in the demo have actually been recorded in a very famous building that I don't know if it's any famous outside of Poland, but it's called the Palace of Science and Culture, I think that's the official name, and all of the sounds of the spires, like the ambient sounds and also steps and everything like that, have been hand recorded by me, as is proven by this photo that